Hi guys, and welcome to my WhatsApp broadcast group. So last week I sent you the image of my new painting, The Last Retreat. But this time I want to talk a little bit more about the painting you see in front of you right now. It's also the beginning of a new series. I call it Nightfall series, and that painting particularly has the title Floating. I wrote you some words about that painting in the message, but for the video, I want to give you some little insights on my approach when it comes to design and collecting ideas. And that directly brings me to my sketchbook, which I carry always around with me. And I want to start with this one I did last December. I was driving by a farm which is very close to the place we live in Lower Austria, and I was fascinated by these upper windows. They were glowing in the dark, and the background was even much darker than you can see here. So I really had to capture this atmosphere, and this one is going to become a big painting, or at least a part of a bigger painting. So continuing with landscapes, also here you can see the darkness, but divided in this strange composition, which is defined by the clouds, this city-like structure, which is an industrial zone in the outskirts of Vienna. So all these artificial lights let the sky glow. And I like this black, white, black, bright image. I think it could be a fantastic painting by itself. Now let's see what's going to happen. Same approach in this one, even a little bit more interesting, I think. And when I sketch something out like this, I always imagine it as a painting that at least has 250 or 280 or even 3 meters of height and 2 meters of length, something like this. And I also imagine just more details and all that stuff. I think it works like this, but sketching things out like this is always some kind of motivation for me, because I get a feeling for what the painting later can be. This painting is, or this sketch for a painting is pretty much related to what you see here on this new piece, except the circumstance that it's about two beings floating in the room, and I really like the void between these two figures and the darkness that divides them. So when I think about that painting, I would say this should be at least 4 meters long. I really want to do a large scale painting with that sketch, and try to focus on these dark parts which define the space itself in that painting. So yeah, sometimes sketches are not bigger than this. They don't need more details than this, but I think you get the point, right? Yeah. Okay, next one. This ink sketch I did in January when I was visiting friends in their house in Bad Gastein. Bad Gastein is a little beautiful village in Salzburg, and they have a waterfall running through their village. It has this dark atmosphere there in a way. Yeah, very inspiring. And I think just imagine this as a big painting with this abstract waterfall, and even this should be much darker. And then you have these glowing lights of the building which sits on top of that mountain. I think it's beautiful. So it has creating this atmospheric landscape in combination with yeah, the light gives some impression of a presence. So there's somebody, but there's a lot of solitude in that sketch. Um, and I think, yeah, if you talk about the color black, it's always also a little bit about solitude. And therefore, I also choose that painting for today because I think during Corona times, and that's especially in the last 2 weeks, that painting really started to fit the situation and to make sense for a lot of us. It captures the atmosphere. Not for everybody, but for some. So, yeah, this one, I like this one. I already made a little acrylic painting out of that sketch for my German gallery, Affenfaust Gallery, which is situated in Hamburg. And this is a sketch out of my studio window into the backyard of the building. And somehow it reminded me, and that's also the title, on this old movie, Das Fenster zum Hof. And yeah, this is just an idea with 5 windows, but I also had the idea to just enlarge that and make a huge building out of that, which has these perspective lines a little bit integrated, but yeah, it's basically black, and then you only see the windows glowing. Yeah, it ends up, it's a figurative painting, but it becomes more and more abstract. So, next one. I was thinking about if I should also show you this sketch because I'm not going to paint that. But I decided to show it to you because, in the procedure of collecting ideas and thoughts, there are also things that you might select later on and they will not become reality. So the idea was, how would it look like when the body is stretched, like in an abstract form? It doesn't need to be human-like, but black and black and abstract body shape in the combination with realistic or photorealistic parts, like here. But I don't know, maybe you like it. To me, it doesn't really work. Not by now. Maybe I have to change a little on that sketch or do some other sketches. But when it doesn't work for me in the sketchbook, I think it won't work in a bigger painting. Yeah. Next one. Totally different situation. To me, this one really works, and this is going to be one of the next big paintings I'm going to do on a 280 to 2 meter canvas. And you have to imagine this car. Just did a little bit bulky here. It's going to be very realistic, and the rest of this ink drawing, which will become an acrylic painting, will be much darker. So basically you're only going to see a little bit of this upper trees here, maybe like this. I really want to do a black painting with not a lot of details that you can see in the first second, but there will be all the details inside, but they going to be not very visible for somebody who just doesn't watch very carefully. So I want to integrate all the details but darken the whole image. And so that brings me to the next version. So here the car is a little bit more like it should be. Of course, the rest is just roughly sketched out, but yeah, somehow it's more what the painting should look like. So maybe I'm going to do more. And in this case, obviously, I wanted to use an object inside the nature, an object crossing crossing nature, crossing this darkness. And the car is pretty good for that because you can play with all the reflections and lights and car lights, and there's there's there are many things going on. I think it will be much more abstract than this, but on the other hand also very realistic, and there's so much to explore in these paintings. I'm really happy to focus on this series in the next couple of months, Corona months. Oh yeah. So, and this one is the last one I want to show you. This is also a sketch I did out of the window of our house, and it might not become a single painting like here, but I think it has a wonderful quality to be a beautiful background for something. So you have some things going on here, and yeah, of course I basically wanted to capture this moon with the cloud, and then you have this lights here in the back glowing in red, and I think it's very poetic. I don't know, but for a big painting maybe it's not enough in a way. But let's see, it depends on how it can be painted. I have to think about that. And yeah, having that said, it's all about thinking about these ideas, and therefore the sketchbook is like gold to me, like a pearl, because it's a collection of ideas, it's a collection of thoughts that have to be revisited over and over again, and so making good choices is possible. And I take pretty much a lot of time to make these choices. So I'm a fast painter, but I take a lot of time to think about what I paint. So yeah, that's it for now. I hope you enjoyed it. It's a little bit more talking, but I thought it's a good idea when I present that to you to also show you the some parts of my sketchbook which are related to this new series, the Nightfall series. Let me know what you think, and goodbye for now.